Welcome to DAYZ. Today, we are going to be talking about science, but not just any science. We're doing DAYZ food science. There are three parts to food: the energy value, the hydration value, and the stomach value. Some of these foods I'm going to suggest are not as good as others. That almost always is going to be because of how much they fill your stomach in correlation with how much hydration and energy stat they give you. With that being said, anything that gives you energy stat is good when you're starving. Our stomach has a 2,000 milliliter capacity, and when it's filled, we get this little logo. It means you've eaten too much. Many of us already know this, and at surface level, yes, you should just eat or drink until it appears. But certain foods fill this at a much higher rate, thus making these foods less optimal, not only stat-wise, but also in inventory and stomach space. First things first, all meats in DAYZ are pretty good, not only for what they provide, but also for you having a choice over how you prepare the food and being able to cater that towards your survival. There are two different types of fireplaces you're gonna find in houses, but they do virtually the exact same thing, although one is large and one is small. If you cook on the cooking section directly or with a frying pan, your food will come out baked, this dark orange color normally. This will keep a great deal of the energy stat, although it will take a little bit off the top, and it will keep a little bit of the hydration stat of the food as well. It is, in my opinion, the most effective way to prepare food, as it provides as much food stat as the alternative and keeps a little bit of hydration in there. That alternative being smoking the meat, which happens just above that in these top slots here. The benefit to smoking the food is that it will preserve itself longer before becoming rotten. This means if you have a base or a lot of meat that you don't know what to do with, you're probably going to want to smoke it. Although this makes the meat last longer, it also gives you zero hydration after being smoked. The last way that we can prepare our meat is boiling. This is what you do with a cooking pot full of any water, clean or dirty, it doesn't matter. And it essentially cuts down the energy stat of the meat by like 25%-ish and gives you nearly triple the water supply in the meat. This is only really good if you are struggling with finding water at the time. Otherwise, maximizing the energy stat you get from food is important. With this being said, predator steaks will kill you. So wolves and bears are a no-go. It's because of this virus predators get in the wild called trichinosis. Trichinola. Essentially, they got that nasty in them, okay? But I like to think of the wolves and the bears eating zombie brains, and now they got gross meat inside of them, regardless of what it is. All steaks are really good. Depending on how you prepare them, you will get different values of energy and hydration and preservation. The reason meats are so good is because you can eat a lot of steaks and they barely fill your stomach. For example, reindeer and venison, a full steak, which you normally won't even get, but a full steak, if you got one perfect steak all the way to the brim, it would take up 250 milliliters of your 2,000 in your stomach. That means you could eat 8 full reindeer steaks from empty stomach to full stomach before you become absolutely stuffed. With that being said, certain animals are better than others. Venison and reindeer are the best without question, with beef from cows being really close behind them. Second best is boars and pigs. Fish are the third best, with the mackerel and the steelhead trout being at the top of the fish ladder. Sheep and goats are third, then fox, chicken, and rabbit are at the bottom, not really providing much stat, but when you need it, you know? Alongside this, if you didn't know, the amount of times you strike the animal before harvesting it determines how much food you get, with headshots providing the most, whereas shooting it with a shotgun across the field 8 times would provide the least. Next up, we have dry foods. These are items that give you no water stat at all. The best of these being the seasonal item, the candy cane. This gives you more food than anything in the game at 6,750. To give you perspective on how crazy the candy cane is, you only have 5,000 nutrition stats. So if you were starving to death at 0 and you ate a candy cane, you would go all the way to max food and beyond, right? You're like, buzz, okay. And for perspective, the second best food stat in the game is a cow steak, and that provides 1,500 if it's completely full. Beyond this, the real thing about dried items, in my opinion, is that you should always eat these items right away when you find them. The best of these being cereal and powdered milk, as they provide a grip load of nutritional stat, and they don't fill your stomach an obscene amount. Rice, however, does give you good nutritional stat, but it fills your stomach rapidly. It's like the rice is expanding in your stomach acid. Alongside this, Zagorki, these little chocolate bars and peanuts take up 0 stomach stat. So if you were absolutely full stomach on the brink of vomiting, you could eat a Zagorki and it wouldn't affect you at all. These are 3 of the better food items in the game because they have no negative effect on your stomach and they just provide you stat inward. On the other side of this, chips, crackers, and salty sticks all fill your stomach more than they actually give you food stat, but pretty much should always be eaten regardless as soon as you find them. Keep in mind, as your stomach fills up and you move around, your body naturally metabolizes that. So even though the chips and the crackers and the salty sticks kind of suck, eating them right away isn't going to hurt you. Canned foods that you have to open with a knife or a can opener are almost all great. Bacon being at the top of the mountain with 1,200 energy. That's so much energy. And a little bit of water. Baked beans are a less effective form of bacon, essentially. Alongside this, spaghetti and peaches give you a little more water while giving you a little less food. All of these items don't fill your stomach as much as they give you stats, with sardines also being a tiny little good treat as well. Unknown food cans, however, are the evil, cross-eyed, red-headed, Polish-Italian cousin you never want to talk to at the family gatherings. I am Polish-Italian, I'm allowed to say that. Not only because they have a chance of getting you sick if it fills too much of your belly up, but also it has a stomach fill of 4,000 milliliters, double the actual space you have in your stomach. If you do come across unknown can of food and you have nothing else to survive on, nibble it very slow because if you get too much in you, it's going to make you nasty. On the other hand, some of the canned food that we peel off the cap on is good and the other half is not so good. The good ones being lunch meat, crab, pork, pate, and brisket, all providing nearly the same amount of food stat as they do fill up your stomach stat. On the other side of this, there's dog food, cat food, tuna, and pajika, all filling your stomach more than they actually fill your energy stat. The last 2 in this category are good because of the exceptional numbers of energy and water that they give you, but are bad for the high number of stomach value that they take up. Honey and strawberry jam, 2 items that I used to think were literally the best food items in the game, actually fill you at obscene rates. Honey does give you a lot of food stat, but it also has 2,000 milliliters of stomach space. So if you had a completely empty stomach and you started eating the honey and you ate all of it, you would vomit at the end. And strawberry jam going to 1,600 milliliters of stomach space. So both of these items provide good stats as far as food goes, but at the same time, fill your stomach at an obscene pace, right? This is what I spoke on earlier. Just because an item technically fills your stomach a lot, it doesn't change that you need food to survive, and they should be eaten regardless. Lastly is fruits and vegetables. This includes not only stuff you can grow, but mushrooms you're going to find as well. All fruits and vegetables are good to eat, so long as they are not rotten, providing decent food stat across the board and always a little bit of hydration as well. Zucchinis being at the top of all of the fruits and vegetables that you could prepare, with pumpkin slices, peppers, potatoes, and mushrooms being close behind. Apples, pears, and plums are the fruit part of this. They give you decent food and hydration, with plums being at the lowest end of them all. But with that being said, baking any of these fruits and vegetables will raise their nutritional value a great deal, particularly for potatoes, as they go from 150 calories when eaten raw to 500 calories after you bake it. That's 4 times the value. This can be said for every single fruit and veggie in the game. For example, mushrooms across the board, every mushroom you're going to find in the world provides 180 calories. But once any of these mushrooms are baked, they provide 450 calories. Although they do lose some water stat when you do this, you're normally going to be using wells for water and food for food. With that being said, the yellowfoot mushroom, this guy right here, is the best of all the mushrooms because it provides double the water that any of the others do. If you are ever tight on food and you come across fruits and vegetables, you should always be baking them. Every single time, you should bake them. Every single time. Lastly, I just want to repeat, just because something fills your stomach doesn't mean you should leave it behind. I'm not saying don't take that honey because it fills your stomach fast. I'm trying to give you an understanding and a guide as to how food works in correlation with your body, so that you then can manage and understand surviving versus your belly in this very complicated game a little bit better. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I care about you. Be good to each other out there. Or don't.